So here we are. This is the filming of the Tony Harrison video series on Avidyne. Today we're going to explore the issue of the RNAV approach using Camden. This continues Tony's very elegant series of videos looking at Avidyne function.
Beautiful. Thanks for that great intro, Greg. And as we said, what we're going to do is load up the IFD540 with a flight plan to take us over to Camden and fly the RNAV approach there, including a sector entry and hold.
From here. Alright, so proceed, confirm. So what we did was put in here a waypoint, which was at Cadam first. Press enter, so there's Cadam. Then we went to another waypoint, which was Camden, YSCN, and that's in. And then we went to TWRN, which is TWRN, and then we came to Bankstown. Now that's the basic plan in place, but now what we need to do is add in the departure out of here. So we press the PROC button. It was a Bankstown 1, comes up by itself. We select the runway, we went off 29 centre and press enter. Now we also need to put in the fact that we're going to do a RNAV approach. So we press PROC, comes Bankstown first, press it again, it now goes to Camden. We want the Whiskey approach and we want via Whiskey Bravo. We press enter to select that, and that is all in the plan. We also need to tell it we want to do a hold. So we highlight Whiskey Bravo, press enter, and it's highlighted hold, press enter again, that's added the hold. We can press the gap and press clear. There we go. And the final thing that we need to do after we have a quick check of it all there is activate the flight plan. We can then go to our map screen, bring out the data, and we are ready to fly.
So there you have it. We now have the flight plan all loaded up into the Avidyne and ready to go. So the next sequence we'll cut to is us in the aircraft getting ready for departure. So now you join us as we taxi out onto runway 29 right at Bankstown. All the checklists have been completed. Unfortunately, aircraft audio was a little less than optimal for this, so you're going to get a voiceover for this one. So Greg's driving us today and I'm pilot monitoring. We're just about to take the runway. We've got the plan in place. Unusually for this one, we got a clearance to taxi out to the holding points before we got our airways clearance. So a little bit different, but our hangar at Bankstown is so close to the threshold of 29 that we don't actually taxi down to the run-up bays. We do it from outside our hangar. So we just call them that we're ready for a clearance. But he cleared us out to holding point Alpha 8, and here we are roaring down the runway and up into the skies. Nice normal takeoff. Greg's got a really good set of hands here and just really nice and smooth. We had something like 3 knots of wind, so it was a really beautiful flying day, and as you can see, absolutely perfect clear blue skies. So we are tracking out on a Bankstown 1 departure. So our heading is 291 degrees and we've been cleared up to 3,000 feet, and we need to report as we're passing through 1,500. But you can see we've got quite a decent climb rate on the aircraft today. Aircraft's performing just absolutely beautifully. So we'll give him a call at 1,500 feet and that's on to Bankstown Tower. Then he's going to take us over to Sydney departures, 118.4, and all we need to do is let them know what altitude we're passing through, what we're climbing to, and our heading, which we'll do very shortly. So as we continue to climb off out of Bankstown here, we are just coming up on 1,500 feet, and Greg and I are just having a bit of a chat about what's coming up next. Again, sorry about the in-flight audio not being available, but hopefully this voiceover helps a little bit. So there we go, we've just let them know that we're 1,500, and we're going to switch over to departures, 118.4, wait a few moments, and then we'll check in with departures. And what they came back with was just, what did we come up with this today? They just said climb via the SID to 3,000. So we continued via the SID up to 3,000 feet. There I am, just putting a little reminder into the Garmin G5 for 3,000 feet. And one thing I haven't done on the IFD is change the display to track up. That's just the one push of the right hand knob. Just push that in once and that will change it, as long as you're on the map display. Don't try and do it on the FS display, do it on the map display, and that will take it. You'll see in a file I'll do that. Just coming off my right here is Prospect Reservoir, so we'll continue tracking Alphat this way. Pretty soon the controller clears us over to Camden and up to 6,000, so I'm going to pause it up here and we'll rejoin the flight when we are up towards Camden. So welcome back again, and now we have been just having a chat to the controller. He's now cleared us direct Camden, so I go to the FMS, highlight Camden, direct to, enter, and that now is going to take us back towards Camden. Press map, and this is when I finally noticed that I haven't got the track up on the FMS. So we'll get that part sorted out shortly. Just a slight left turn away from the SID onto the track out to Camden, and we'll make our way up to 6,000 feet. Oh, there we go. Look at that. There's a finger pointing. Not that way. I want to go that way. So press the button. Look at that. Much better. So again, Greg's doing a marvellous job of keeping us nice and smooth. We had to level off at 5,000 there, I think. Yeah, that's right. He's only got us at 5,000. We haven't been cleared up further yet. But we'll continue out towards Camden, and in a little while, we just asked for traffic direct Camden Whiskey Bravo, and that kind of gives them an indication that that's where we want to go now. We don't want to keep going out to Camden if we can help it. And to steer us over there wasn't a soul out there with us, so you'll see soon. I'll pick it up in a moment there where we get that clearance and no traffic, and start heading over to Whiskey Bravo and get set up for the approach. Alright, welcome back. Now we have been cleared up to 6,000 feet, and we're just discussing what we're going to be doing next and whether we give a chat to the controller now or later. And you can see Greg's on the radio there, just having a quick chat with them. I'm busy pressing buttons to clear away little messages that come up on the IFD, and we climb up there about 5,700. And controller's just given us a clearance to with no traffic to Camden Whiskey Bravo. So in a moment we're going to go over to the FMS page on the Avidyne, and we're going to select the current leg, which is the direct Camden, highlight that and clear it. Press the clear button, confirm it with enter, and then that's going to steer us around to Whiskey Bravo. It's the most effective way I found of taking us there. Rather than activating the leg, like highlighting Whiskey Bravo, then pressing activate leg, it still takes you to Camden. We don't want that to happen. We want to go directly from there. So that's why you'll see in a moment what we're going to do is highlight the Camden, press clear, get rid of it from the flight plan, and around to the left we'll go. So just coming over the foothills of the Blue Mountains there. There we go. So there's Greg getting into it now. And so highlighting the top one, pressing clear. No, didn't take on that one. Press the highlight. That's it. Press that one. And now around we go. So now we are making our way directly towards Whiskey Bravo. And once we get to Whiskey Bravo, we're going to do a sector entry and hold, and then go into the approach. The wind today is very, very light. I think it was light and variable even up at 6,000 feet there. And as you can see, there's not a cloud in the sky. So it was really, really good flying conditions. So here's Greg beautifully bringing us around to take up that heading towards Whiskey Bravo. Once we get over to Whiskey Bravo, take up a heading of about 191 degrees. Hold that for a minute, turn right, and then come into the hold. So just looking at the FMS there, just kind of zooms back out, and we can see that the sector entry and the hold and the approach was loaded up there as expected. Alright, in a moment I'll skip forward us to when we're just about to do that sector entry and hold. You join us now as we're both taking a look at the briefing and the approach. We picked up the ATIS for Camden and making sure we've got the tower frequency in there as well. Very early in the morning, so Camden Tower is not staffed at this point, so it will just be treated as a CTAF, and we stay with Sydney Centre on this one, 124.55 the whole time. We're actually OCTA now. But you can see on the Avidyne there that we are approaching the Whiskey Bravo. The sector entry is not up there on the display yet, but as we get closer to Whiskey Bravo it comes up, and it does tell you that it's a teardrop entry to expect there. Again, beautiful part of the countryside that we're flying over here. It's nice when you're looking at it like this and it's a clear day. Last time I came over there was a 40 knot wind out of the west, and that made it a little bit more interesting. So here's Greg just getting us all set up, getting the headings up there on the OBS. Not needed so much with that display, but it's a good practice to have it all in there as good reminders. And I'm just pointing out there that now the Avidyne is pointing out that it's going to be a teardrop entry, and it's now drawn it on the display there. Follow the magenta legs around. So when you fly the sector entry, which we're just going into now, and you need to kind of come back inbound to Whiskey Bravo, and when you turn back out again, that's when the hold pattern depicted on the Avidyne goes fully magenta. At the moment it's just kind of highlighting each one of the legs for you. Now the display on the Avidyne does adjust for your airspeed as well, so it knows that it's 1 minute right hand turns, and that display will adjust. Just check and make sure the camera's still working. And we're using the Garmin GTX 345 to do the timing here for us. Make sure we've got that set on a minute, even though of course on the display it shows it as well. See how smooth the conditions are today, just beautiful. So here we are, we're making our right hand turn, bring us back on a heading of 047, which is our track inbound to Whiskey Bravo. And we can track the needle on the display there, as well as on the Avidyne there, to make sure that we're tracking well. Obviously I'm acting as safety by looking out a lot, but also the Avidyne has got the traffic in, so if there was any traffic we would see that being displayed on the Avidyne. There you go, Greg's bringing us around beautifully halfway through the turn. And like I say, once we fly back over Whiskey Bravo again, we will be in the hold, and the pattern on the Avidyne will be fully magenta to show that we are established in the hold, and we have to tell the Avidyne that we want to exit the hold to continue the procedure. So we'll show you that in a moment. We'll just get established inbound, and then I'll cut to the next video, which is us inbound again, but this time ready to exit the hold. A few more degrees around. nicely centered there. Beautiful job by Greg. Master on their hands there. Great stick and rudder skills. And there we are. Established on 047, inbound to Whiskey Bravo. All right, I'm going to cut the hold out so you don't see doing a racetrack, and I'll come back to us when we are just about to come inbound again to Whiskey Bravo, but this time we'll go straight into the approach. So now we're inbound, and we're just zooming in there to show, and Greg's going to reach over now. It's going to go to the FMS, press the exit hold button, confirm it, and go back to the map display. And now you can see there's a solid magenta line that's taking us onto the approach. It's as easy as that. So there's a bit of going backwards and forth there. So FMS page first of all, exit hold, back to the map page, and away you go. And now there's also a top of descent point that it points out. As you come out over the top of Whiskey Bravo, you don't start your descent straight away, of course, you're staying there for a little while. And when it's ready for descent, you get a ding dong in your headset. And there's also on the display top of descent. The Avidyne also shows you the altitudes that you're shooting for as well. So the next one is 4,050 feet. That's depicted on the display. And essentially from here on out, it's just following the process, just following the map, letting it take you down and into Camden. So that's what we're going to do over the next few minutes. Yes, that sun was absolutely blinding. I agree with you, Greg. But it's, again, very still conditions. So you can see we're still holding altitude, and now we start that descent. So even though we came over Whiskey Bravo a few moments before, we hold it out there, bring the power back, and down we go. It's going to be quite a solid rate of descent you need there. It's quite a decent descent path, but off we go and down we go. And at the same time, I'm getting ready to make radio calls on the CTAF frequency. We're still staying with Sydney because it's what are we, about 7:37 in the morning, and so Camden's not manned until 8 o'clock, I think it was, on that day. So we just took to whoever's out there, and there wasn't much traffic out there either that day. We had a car on the runway doing an inspection and one guy in the run-up bay eventually, but it was a very quiet morning. Just monitoring the power, coming back nice and gently there. A decent descent rate. But again, it's good conditions, but also a great pilot there. Just keep cross-referencing and checking. There are charts on the Avidyne as well if you want to use those, or you do like Greg's doing there and look it up on your iPad. Either way works. For this one, all we did was descend down to the minima, and then we bugged out straight over to RN and back to Bankstown. There was we didn't do a circular approach or anything like that. It was just a nice approach down to minima and out the other side. You can see again, Greg's got the speed under control here really nicely. Aircraft can run away with you, quite a steep descent, so you want to be on top of that engine management the whole time. No flap out or anything like that. And here I am switching over to COM 2. Just give them a little call, let them know who we are, what we're doing, and see if there's anybody else. We had been listening for at least 15 minutes before that and hadn't heard anybody really moving around. So it was just more just in case someone was starting up and was quickly exiting out. And as the winds were light and variable, they could have taken either runway and could have departed into us. So gave them a quick call, back onto Sydney Centre. And we'll keep the descent going down. So now we're going for, was it 2250? Descent still coming down, still quite a good descent rate. Always monitoring, always taking a look out. That's why it's good to have two of us on board as well. Extra set of eyes on a day like today. Although we didn't hear anybody, didn't see anybody on the TCAS box there, you never know. It's always good to keep a lookout. Beautifully done. It's quite a decent descent, that first one, from the top of the descent to the next point. So Greg's got that one under control. From there on out, it's relatively easier to go down to the missed approach point. So from Whiskey Foxtrot onwards, it's a relatively benign descent. You can see on the Avidyne as well, it's starting to paint some yellow caution now. So it's terrain within 1,000 feet of us now. Give them another radio call, just let them know I think we're about 3 miles here. And I'll just let it run a little bit more until we get to over the top of Camden Airport there and we bug out. But I hope you enjoyed that short tutorial on the Avidyne IFD540 and using it to conduct a RNAV RMP approach into Camden, Yankee Sierra Charlie November, in the RV10 Papa Golf X-Ray. There's the airfield in sight. See it just coming off the nose over the top of the other action cam there. You can see the runway complex. We're looking at 0624, so we're coming in on the 06 if we was doing a straight in, or if it's a circle then it'll break off in a right hand circuit for runway 24. Coming down to minima. We have got an accurate QNH as well for this one, so that gives us an extra 100 feet off if we needed it. One more radio call, because like we said, there was a car on the runway that we're listening to, and there was another aircraft taxiing out that was in the run-up bays, so just to make sure everybody knows who we are, what we're doing, where we are, and what our intentions are. And there we are at minima, coming up on the thresholds. We adjusted our track just slightly there, you can see from the offset on the CDI, just because of that car. We wasn't quite sure exactly what that was to start with, so as it's only a training flight and a simple flight, and at visual conditions, we just moved off to the dead side a little bit now. And now we're just putting in 2RN, direct to, enter, go back to map, and that's going to give us a track basically straight ahead back to 2RN. And we'll let Sydney Centre know what we're doing, and that will be proceeding OCTA back to 2RN. Alright, I'll wrap it up there. Let me know if you have any questions, let me know any comments, and thanks for flying with us.